Hello, good evening, everyone, or good morning, good afternoon, whenever the fuck you're watching this. Um, I'm recording this on Friday night, the 27th. Happy birthday, Counter Strike, of course. No updates, but you know what? We didn't even want them anyway. Am I right, guys? So we're going to be reporting on two big news stories that came out this week. Actually, two big ones that really came to a head today. At least one of them came to a head today. As we start with Astralis and Cadian taking part in the Blast finals that are going on right now. Obviously, a big hoopla about that, with him not necessarily having the right to play, per se. Astralis requesting an emergency stand in for Bro, who they deemed was unfit to play, although reports from him and his manager both said, yeah, that's bullshit. Um, Obviously, there's many sides to all the stories that come out, but from the looks of it, Astralis did do some little dirty tricks to get Cadian in. Um, Players throughout the tournament have had differing opinions on it. I know, for example, Spinks in an interview said he doesn't really care, and he was kind of happy for the Astralis guys that they get to play. Um, and for the record, none of this is against the players of Astralis, as they are just players. They don't have the power to really make these polls. Excuse me. So no hate should be like guided towards them because that's not fair. But their team management, however, it gets a little iffy there. Um, as we saw for Media Day, the IGLs decided to say they were unfit for Media Day, just to kind of throw shit at Astralis, which I think personally is very good. I think players trying to make a point to what they really believe in is very important for esports. It's something that we see a lot during normal sports. Normal sports, excuse my terminology, but for example, in the NFL, NHL, MLS, Champions League, we see players take a stand for what they believe in a lot. And in Counter Strike, you don't always have the opportunity to do that. So I think seeing these IGLs band together to try to fight for what they think is right is actually really good for the community. Um, and again, Astralis, it's none of the players' fault. They're getting a lot of backlash about this that they don't necessarily deserve. And they also bombed the fuck out of Blast. So, you know, was it really worth it? Probably not. Was it their fault? No. But exciting nonetheless. And with this move, may I add my own 2 cents? I think it's weird. I think it's really weird that you have an IGL who has proven to be better than Cadian in terms of achievements. Um, a free agent right now, also Danish, and you don't choose him. Obviously, there was chemistry back in the heroic days between Stown, Yabby, and Cadian, but we don't know what their feelings for each other are now. Obviously, if they're going to be playing on the same team, as much as it's not the player's choice on who is on the team, they have to have at least come to some sort of resolution personally for what happened during the days on Heroic. But I think it's a really weird choice. And taking Cadian off the op, which I mean he wasn't super efficient with in CS2, but it's just a overall weird choice. Um, Time will tell how it'll go. Obviously, didn't go super good so far. They did take a map off of Spirit, but Spirit had their own troubles during this tournament. They bombed. They didn't bomb out today, excuse me, but they did end up losing to G2 today. So who knows? Come um, major time, I don't think they're going to be attending Rio. Um, Actually, I'm going to check. Are they attending Rio? Just give me 1 second. I'm not going to edit this. I'm not professional. So they are attending Rio. So you know what? Have a little bit more practice under their belt. They'll have a week of practice, give or take. We might see some good things out of them. But I still think that, especially seeing the shit show that happened at Liquid, Astralis banking on switching Cadian from op to rifle and then having him come in and lead with, especially with a superstar like device that he's never really had to deal with before. Weird. But what do I know? I don't know shit. I do know something, though. S1mple joins Falcons on a loan. So, waking up this morning at, probably 8 a.m., literally just opening my eyes and checking my phone, and just my Twitter is exploded with people tweeting about S1mple joining Falcons. I was confused, and I still am. I think seeing S1mple back is great. We're all excited to see S1mple play again. He hasn't played in a long time, and he's the best player to ever play Counter-Strike, and no one will ever debate that. They shouldn't debate that. However, Falcons benching their best player by a decent bit, their best player, for S1mple, who has an enormous contract to buy out and hasn't played on Navi since 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I think September of 2023, and then he played that, I think it was for Blast. It was a best of 3 against Metasports for Falcons, where he stood in for Dupree, his spot that would eventually open up. I guess it was right after Boris. And they lost to Metasport. And I think it's weird. I think this is also a very, very weird thing to go on. But it does make sense. Realistically, with the contract that S1mple does have, who's really going to be able to pull some strings and get him? Falcons. Falcons have all the money in the fucking world. And that's probably the only realistic way that we'll see him get back into Counter-Strike if it's not on Navi. So, I'm not saying this is a bad move at all, but I think it's really rough for Falcons to do this right before the RMRs are about to begin, and the major cycle, and the most important part of the year. End of season, major cycle, end of the year. I did hear some people saying that this is sort of Falcons tryout for Nico. As we know, the reports have been coming in that saying Nico is basically already confirmed moving to Falcons once the end of this year comes up. But I still think that this is a really big risk to take that doesn't necessarily need to be done. We're not in the minds of the professionals. We don't know what Nico's thinking. We don't know what S1mple's thinking. But I don't think hedging all your money on S1mple coming back and being just as good as he was, especially when he's said multiple times that he doesn't like the op, he is going to be coming back as an opper for Senpais. It's scary. It's tricky territory. I'm sure by the end of this year, I'll look like a fucking idiot, and Falcons will be the best team ever after they get S1mple, Nico, and every other player under the sun. But for the time being, a tricky play. Definitely something that is going to go either amazing or terribly, and we're just going to have to sit around and wait to find out. But that's it for now. I'm going to try to do weekly news episodes because right now I got nothing to really do. I'm doing some school for my fire department that I volunteer at, and besides that, I'm going to be working some local events, doing some casting. If you're interested in seeing any of my casting, I will be casting whatever ESEA League games I can during this upcoming season. My Twitch and my Twitter, where I post the links to all my streams, are in the description. Hope you guys have a good night or day or afternoon. And if you guys have any advice or anything you want to let me know, please leave it down in the comments, and I will make it so much better, and you'll love me forever. But for now, enjoy.